Hello, everyone, and welcome to Intelligent Safety. My name is Lance Beloney. I'm the Senior Vice President for Business Development, our safety solutions platform, T-Pulse. And I want to take this opportunity to welcome you to a very insightful, a very informative podcast dealing with intelligent safety. You may be asking yourself, what is intelligent safety and what is this term? Intelligent safety really refers to the integration of digital technology to help manage the industrial safety complex, the industrial safety environment, and being able to do things like monitor, detect, alert, report, analyze. These are the tools that intelligent safety are affording the safety management process across a number of industry verticals like construction, manufacturing, fabrication, refining, oil and gas, upstream, midstream, downstream. And so intelligent safety has arrived, and companies now are really taking advantage of the insight, the information that intelligent safety is providing to them. And today on the broadcast, I'm really excited to have with us a guest from Safety Assist that is going to talk with us a lot about safety, intelligent safety in the construction environment. So with that being said, Steve, thank you so very much for joining us this morning. Thank you for being a part of the broadcast, and looking forward to our conversation today. So why don't you take a few minutes at least just to introduce yourself, and then we'll get into the podcast from there.
Well, first off, thanks, Lance. It's always great talking with you, and I appreciate the opportunity to be on this podcast. I am the CEO and founder of Velocity View. Our main product platform is Safety Assist, and our focus is 100% on the construction safety industry. And within construction, you have basically four legs of focus. One is schedule, one is budget, one is quality, and the fourth is safety. And we focus on the safety aspects of this. Our product Safety Assist is a browser-based and mobile application-based application. And the browser is an admin tool that allows you to look at reports and compile those reports and analyze the reports. And then our mobile application is a data collection and a report generation tool. So that's the basis of our platform. And what we try to do with this platform is that construction is a industry that has been slow to adopt technology for several reasons. It's starting to actually improve greatly in the last number of years. But when we started in 2017, there was still over 50, 60% of the data collection was done on paper, which meant that the safety directors would have to collect that paper, they would have to scan that paper, and then they'd file that paper, but they weren't really analyzing it. They were just looking for simple data, which is who did what. Did someone do their JSA today, or did they not do their JSA? But they wouldn't even know that for a week or two after that shift started. So there was an issue in terms of being able to be proactive versus reactive. And we thought that was a good environment for us to turn a reactive environment into a proactive environment. So the things that we focus on as a company, and that we are constantly asking our customers, what can we do to improve our software, is how do we make it easier to use? You know, can we organize the product better than we have it today? How do we create an easier adoption? Because you have these guys in the field have been with the construction industry for many, many years. They're used to a type of procedure or process, and now they're being asked to do something different. So how do we make this easy to adopt? How do we collect, compile, and analyze data in near real time to give you this kind of proactive approach? And when we ask these questions, we're saying, if we were to add this feature or improvement to our software, does it increase your productivity? Because if it improves your productivity, it improves your ROI. So that's kind of the basis of how we approach the software development and how we approach our clients when they use the software, so that we can constantly improve that software.
So, Steve, when you talk about the improvements, the data, obviously this platform today, Intelligent Safety, is going to talk a lot about data collection, data monitoring, data analysis, and the like. But at the end of the day, it's all about preventing injuries, accidents, fatalities, improving culture, eliminating shortcuts, near misses, bad behavior. Talk a little bit about safety assist in terms of how does a company leverage that to prevent these accidents and issues with the workforce?
Well, so the underlying goal on the safety issue within construction is that from the senior management down to the supervisors and the safety managers, is that everybody goes home safe every night. That is critical. Now, it's critical for a lot of reasons. First, these are family employees. They're people that everyone embraces. They work hard together. They're constantly working together in difficult environments and things like this. But they also have families. And so nobody wants to disrupt that. From a financial point of view, they, some sort of an injury or the near miss is something that is one issue that the proactive activity helps. But a accident, or heaven forbid a fatality, affects the family, of course, the most, but it affects the financial nature of that project. In other words, the schedule will be affected, the productivity will be affected, the budget will be affected as well. So there is a underlying theme to say we need a product that helps us understand what's happening. Are the subcontractors and all the superintendents doing the safety metrics that have been laid out by the senior management and says, you must do these 6 or 7 things before you start a shift or during the day? And so we are the front end to that allows them to say, these are the inspections we want you to do. We want you to inspect these vehicles. We want you to inspect the equipment. We want you to inspect the site for hazards. All of the things that they have decided are the most important things for them to inspect prior to that shift starting. We put together something that helps them collect that data and then compile that data and analyze that data in an easy to use product that I've explained before, but in near real time. In other words, they don't have to wait weeks to get that information. They can look at it every day and say, who did their pre-task plans? Who did their vehicle inspections? Who didn't do those? And so this is important information that allows them to get ahead of the game to make sure, okay, we've got 10 people who, of the 200 trucks that left this morning that don't do these inspections. We'll call them up and say, hey, you didn't do an inspection today. You must do this because we want you to be protected when you're on the road. This is something that we really believe in, and we think we're making a big impact.
So when you look at the value add that that safety assist provides to the contractor, you mentioned one of the things that schedule, cost, and obviously safety are issues that construction companies are concerned about. How many different areas does safety assist play in? How many do you affect in terms of a company adopts safety assist? and they can look forward to achieving these things as a part of deploying that technology?
Yeah, I think that trying to make it not so complicated, but insurance liability is important. Workers' compensation. When things happen that go wrong, those are big financial burdens on these companies, and we all know from a construction point of view that the profit margins of construction companies are very low. And one of the reasons is that there's a lot of rework, there's a lot of things that go on because it's a very difficult area to build things. That's very dangerous in a lot of cases. And so by minimizing the near misses, by minimizing accidents, et cetera, okay, you're allowing your insurance premiums to be less. And that could be tens of thousands of dollars, it could be much more depending upon how many projects you have. By identifying with your broker that, hey, we are following this safety plan. We have the ability to see every day that people are following this safety plan. And that allows that broker to argue with an insurance company, an actuary that, hey, this premium should be less because these people are less risky than other people.
So in terms of the impact that they're making on the project, clearly the financial piece, because they are not losing employees or because employees are not missing work because of injury or things of that nature, they have their best employees on the job, which makes them more productive and makes them more efficient, right? So talk a little bit about, the platform itself, kind of go through some of the, the features, some of the capabilities of the platform, Safety Assist. Talk a little bit about the actual platform.
Before I do that, I'll talk about something you just brought up, which is employees. So within the construction industry, there is a lack of skilled labor right now. So there's 20% of labor that would be wanted right now because of the enormous amount of investment that's being made in construction. So as a construction company, you're very interested in attracting skilled labor. One of the ways that you will detract from that is if you have a dangerous environment. Another way you will attract people is if you have a safety organization plan in place that they can demonstrate to that employee before they start that we are focused on safety. So I'll just get that out of the way. It's a very, very important financial aspect for the C-level people to know that their investment in safety is attracting labor, skilled labor in the marketplace, because it's very low right now. There's a big need for a higher level of that. In terms of our product, we basically go through and look at all the regulations that are out there. We load those into our system. We have had experts, safety consultants with 30, 40 years of experience, develop all the questions necessary for it. And we've gone through and put it into a very organized method that allows you to say, from a safety program point of view, here are your inspections, here are your permits, here are your other inspections, here are your observations. And it allows people to use this product in a way that they can quickly get to what they're doing at that moment, do their inspection, and then submit a report, and they're done. And that report then goes back to the administrator in near real time, and it's logged there. And then we have integrated with Microsoft Power BI, and we have integrated with GoForms, which is an opportunity for someone that says, hey, you don't necessarily have the inspection I want, but they can now create that inspection, and everything goes to a single source of data. We are in process, because Lance, you know this, of moving towards integration with your product, T-Pulse. Mm-hmm. And we are also applying for integration with Procore, which is, in my opinion, I don't know if this is bad to say, but in my opinion, the best software out there for document management and project management. So we're focused on making sure that what we provide out there does not create this other source of data. It's all integrated together. And once you collect this data, you can analyze it quickly, and you can also have it within other databases out there. If you don't mind, I'll get into something that we're doing today. I mentioned earlier that we try to constantly improve our product. So what we have now available, it's actually happening this week, is we have automated the compilation and scheduling of reports. So not only can you get this data in near real time, but you can actually create reports based upon your own specifications, create a schedule of when those reports are delivered to you. So the system is compiling those reports and then delivering those reports to you. So you can say, hey, I want to see who did a JSA today across 15 projects that I have, or 100 projects, it doesn't matter. And that report will be delivered to you because you say, I want that report delivered to me every morning at 8 o'clock. And so that report goes to you. Our next phase is to come up with an automated analysis of that, of those reports, so that you don't have to go through those reports. You can come up with a way that you want to analyze it. I want to know who did it, who didn't do it, whatever it is. So you can do a filtering of those reports. And then the last thing we're going to do, which will happen actually within a month or so, is that we're going to allow you to prompt that data outside of what you actually have put in there for analysis. So you can say, today, my CFO said, I really want to know this. That's not a part of my normal automated analysis. So I'm going to prompt it like I will with ChatGPT, and I'll get that answer from my CFO right away. So that's the kind of way we handle things.
That's a very good point. I want to say for the audience, these are the types of capabilities that intelligent safety is really starting to afford organizations and companies that are really looking to leverage their data, leverage the information that's being gathered and captured, collected from your operation, your project, your fab shop, whichever the case may be. And now you have access to that data. And just like Steve, you were just mentioning, being able to query that data or prompt that data as we do ChatGPT or Microsoft Copilot or one of the other AI platforms out there, without the risk of hallucinations, right? Without the risk of just pulling extraneous data that doesn't mean anything to you. It's querying and prompting your own data. So talk a little bit about what you guys do to make sure that your platform, and feel free to talk about the platform some more, but I'm just going to request this as well about what your platform is doing to make sure that it is maintaining the latest capability that's out there.
That's a good question, and it's a difficult question. So AI is something that we have moved into at a pretty good rate, but you got to be careful with AI. You mentioned hallucination, and you mentioned really focusing on your own data. You have to have control of your data. We have individuals in our company who are focused on looking at a bunch of AI tools, and we're constantly looking at these AI tools to see what we can do better. So, for example, if you go to our website, you'll see a bot that we've put up. It's a support bot that allows you to ask questions in any language that you want. That says, "Tell me what Safety Assist can do for electrical inspections. Tell me what questions are available for Safety Assist subpart B." And we are constantly, like you do with your company, Lance, we are constantly loading in new updated regulations into our system so that the answer is correct. So, for example, we're loading in a new set of regulations, and you could ask the question to this bot, says, "Tell me what's different between this updated regulation and the previous regulation," and it will respond to you. And again, if you want to do it in Spanish, if you want to do it in Vietnamese, whatever language you want, you can do it. So these are things that we're trying to do to not only make the product easier, but also to make the relationship between our customers easier, where they can actually go to our site, not have to wait for us to call them back or email back or give us a specific question that we then have to research, and it takes days for us to come back to them. They go right to our site, and they can ask these questions to our safety bot, and they can get these answers immediately. They may need that answer. So Anthony just improved their electrical regulations. You know, can you tell me what's different between the old regulation and the new regulation? They don't have to bother anybody. They don't have to wait for support call. They get the answer and they move on. So these are all very important things that not only the product, but also just building a relationship with our clients that give them information that they may not have the ability or time to put together. I mean, you know how difficult it is to keep up with these regulations. I mean,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you've got a customer, client that has multiple projects, right?
Mm-hmm.
Clients want to know what's happening on this project versus what's happening on another project, but then they can get an opportunity to see what's working, what's the best practices, which of our superintendents or which of our projects are performing best in terms of safety. What does and how does Safety Assist give the client the ability to really understand the state of safety for their project or even for their organization?
Yeah, so that's a good question too, and it's an important feature we put in. We have a hierarchy approach to safety. So if you're that the top tier could be an owner, could be a GC, and you have below you offices. So that'd be tier 2, and then below you have projects with superintendents in that, and below them they have subcontractors. So there's a tremendous amount of information with some of these companies that could have 100 projects or more going on at any given time. And so you can have all of this data that you don't really want to figure out, you know, what's going on. And so you can say, okay, in this particular group, at this particular type of project, what are the types of hazards that they see on a daily basis? So you can use this way of collecting this data by allowing you to filter it and go down right into a particular project or a series of projects and say, you know, we're building 4 stadiums today. We're building 5 hospitals. We're building 6 schools. What are the hazards that are associated with those projects, and how are they different from the other projects? And who are the outliers within the projects that we have, where this one project is extremely safe and the other project is having incidents? So all of this data and ability to analyze this data in a very quick way is a way to improve your ability. Now, what that does is, since you don't have to compile it, since you don't have to analyze everything by hand, you know, create Excel spreadsheets and all this other stuff, you're able to find that information quickly, but that gives you the time that you would have done all this other stuff, okay, to actually affect and keep something from happening. So
you made mention of, you know, preventing the accident, the injury, the incident altogether. That clearly is the goal, and what intelligent safety begins to lead us down that path of being able to do is anticipating that events may take place, understanding the likelihood of an event taking place. Now you can preempt that, right? And again, getting away from trailing indicators, you're now leading it. You're now anticipating it. You're now predicting what is coming down the pipe in terms of intelligence, you know, in terms of a potential issue on your site. One of the things that I've said, Steve, and I'd like you to talk a little bit about this too. One of the things that I've said, and this is more in general of intelligent safety and the tools afforded to us in this digital age now. It's not a matter of if people are going to move this way. It's just a matter of when they choose to, because the industry is going to adopt this technology, these types of technologies, Safety Assist, T-Pulse, in my case, they're going to adopt this. It's going to become like the cell phone, the PC, you know, kind of just from a philosophical standpoint, talk about, that adoption by the industry. What do you
Well,
see?
so the adoption will occur. It's just at what speed. So if you if you're not involved with examining what AI can do for you, you're falling behind already. And if you're not if you don't have a group of people within your company that know how to develop these applications and these types of proactive tools, you're falling behind. So the best way to do it, and we do the same thing. That's why we integrate. We integrate with Power BI because we're not capable as a company of building a better analysis tool than what Microsoft built with Power BI. We are integrating with you because we don't have the ability to build a tool that you focus on, which is monitoring through the camera system, the activity 24/7. We integrate with GoForms because we don't have the capability of answering every single person's request on what form they want to have.
Right.
So by having a company like us who focuses on this every single day, every single hour, okay, trying to say that you can do that internally yourself is difficult. Now, I'm not saying that we're the only company that does this. There's lots of other companies that do what we do. But if a company out there is not leveraging companies like Velocity and Safety Assist and saying, well, we can just do this on our own, they either have a huge IT development center or they're just not going to get there. And knowing that companies like us, your company and my company, are constantly looking at how we improve our product. Some companies will develop something and then it'll sit on the shelf for a while. So just a very simple example was one of the safety directors for AGC in Austin was having a very difficult time upgrading their orientation video. Okay, and he had not updated it for 20 years, and so he also needed it in different languages. So we took a look at that. And we completely revamped that orientation for them in about, I think it was about 4 to 5 days. And then we presented that orientation to him in any language that he wanted. And he got freaked out because he's like, I was never going to get to this. And again, it's maybe a little side example, but it just shows you that if you're not focused on, and safety orientation are important because every company says, I want all subcontractors, all team members, everyone to know this orientation. So if you're saying, I can't get to that because I'm focused on schedule and I'm focused on other things, then you should partner with people who are focused on that every single day.
At the end of the day, with these, with platforms like ours, and even with intelligent safety as a industry focus, at the end of the day, it's the company benefiting, right? The company getting benefit from deploying this technology. What are the benefits? Take a few minutes and talk about just in how you have benefited companies that have adopted Safety Assist to improve their bottom line safety performance. How has Safety Assist been able to impact that?
Well, I think this would be a good way to kind of close this out, is that the more complicated a company's organization is, the better Safety Assist can help. That doesn't mean if you're not an organization with multiple offices and things that we can't help you. But the way we've set this up is the more complicated your safety structure is, the better we can provide improved productivity. So this, like an example, you have a company with a bunch of offices, and within those offices, they have 10, 20 projects. In those projects, they have 10, 20 subs each project. That's a lot of data that you're collecting, okay? And if you don't have company like us who allows you to get all of that information segmented and filtered and sent to you in near real time, compiled and analyzed with the ability to prompt that information if something is important at that particular moment, you're really just going to fall behind. And if you have that, okay, you can feel safer, but your productivity will improve because, let's say you have, like I said, multiple offices, they have multiple projects, they have multiple subs, and you want to make sure everyone's doing their orientation, you want to make sure everyone's doing their vehicle inspection, you want to make sure everyone's doing their JSAs, and you have individuals you're paying to compile all that to get that to you, and it comes to you 2-3 weeks later than you actually need to see it. Well, you're paying all that money for people who should be actually walking the site and looking for other issues that might occur that no one else saw. So again, it's just a matter of speed of data, collecting the data in a single silo of information, being able to compile it and analyze it. Again, I keep repeating it, but it's not all that difficult if you have a company like us that does it for you. It's very difficult if you don't.
Yep. Well, Steve, thanks. I really appreciate you taking a few minutes today to join us here on intelligent safety, and really appreciate the platform. I talk about it a lot when I'm out visiting and presenting.
Thank you.
Safety Assist is one of the platforms that I promote as a intelligent safety platform. And so thank you so very much for joining me today. And want to invite all of you that are watching and listening to continue to tune in to Intelligent Safety. We're going to continue to try to bring additional voices from the safety industry that is going to share the latest technology in safety, injury prevention, accident prevention across industry verticals. So thank you so very much. Join us again next time. My name is Lance Beloney. We'll see you then.